Good afternoon. This is Sean Golding with Golding & Golding, here to discuss the delinquent FBAR submission procedures. Now, these procedures are different than the delinquent international information return submission procedures, which are more complicated because they involved different forms beyond just the FBAR. But today's focus is just going to be the delinquent FBAR submission procedures, DFSP, and let's get into it. So, as you probably know, the FBAR is for foreign bank and financial account reporting. U.S. persons who are required to file an FBAR each year are required to report their foreign assets, accounts, and investments. Typically, the three categories of individuals who have to file the FBAR are U.S. citizens, lawful permanent residents, foreign nationals who meet the substantial presence test. When it comes to foreign bank and financial accounts, it's more than just bank accounts. And a lot of times people just assume it's bank accounts because that's what it was for many years in terms of what most people have and what they have to report and the enforcement protocol. So, the FBAR has been around since 1970s. Enforcement to this caliber of aggression by the IRS is only recent, but the form's been around forever, and typically agents just want to know whether taxpayers had foreign bank accounts. But these days, they're really enforcing the FBAR protocol involving all different types of accounts: bank accounts, investment accounts, securities accounts, mutual fund accounts and ETFs, pension accounts, life insurance, all that good stuff. The FBAR has had different due dates over time, but currently it's April 15th, although it's on automatic extension, which means taxpayers automatically have until October. They don't need to file a 4868 or 7004. You may still see older resources that refer to June 30th, but that's no longer valid. So, delinquent FBAR submission procedures, right? They're the simplest of all the procedures because in order to qualify, essentially what it is the taxpayer just has to file the FBAR, didn't file the FBAR, right? So there's no missing income, there's no Form 3520, there's no foreign gift or trust or corporation or entity or partnership or any of that jazz. Just taxpayer, let's call her Jane, she has $40,000. The pause was because we want to make sure she doesn't do the 8938, right? So let's say $40,000 and she's single, so she has to file the FBAR because she's over $10,000, but she doesn't have to file the Form 8938 because it's under $50,000, and so Jane may qualify for the delinquent FBAR submission procedures. Now, if she has additional accounts, let's say, and that takes her over the Form 8938 threshold, then she technically wouldn't do delinquent FBAR. She would do delinquent international information return submission procedures. And there's a key distinction. Currently, although the IRS can change it at any time, but currently delinquent FBAR carries no penalty, which is great, right? Delinquent international return procedures, let's just call it, it's a mouthful, right? Delinquency procedures. There used to be no penalty similar to delinquent FBAR, but as of November 2020, the IRS changed the rules, and so they can and they do penalize people sometimes. And what's kind of harsh about it is it's not like there's a big PR. Like when there used to be something called OVDP, a specific offshoot of VDP for taxpayers with unreported offshore accounts. And when the IRS got rid of the program, they gave everyone 6 months notice so practitioners would know, hey, if you're thinking about doing it, you should do it or not do it, but realize that it's going to be done in 6 months. With delinquent international return procedures, the IRS just changed the website, right? It's not statutory. There's just a website, and the website gave this information, and then they updated the website and said, well, we're not going to offer the automatic penalty waiver anymore. So it's important to qualify for delinquent FBAR. Generally, the FBAR is the only form you have to do, and there's no unreported income. If there's other ancillary factors, you may still qualify for other programs like delinquent international return procedures, streamlined procedures, things like that, but typically you won't qualify for delinquent FBAR. A few things to consider with delinquent FBAR: you generally have to go back 6 years when filing. You don't have to go back more than 6 years. Statutory is going to be 6 years. You have to be non-willful, okay? With any of these non-VDP programs, delinquency procedures, streamlined procedures, a person has to be non-willful. There's no bright line test. There's different factors to consider. We have a ton of information on our website you can find. The IRS has information. I'm sure other firms may have information as well, but you have to be non-willful because you have to craft a small statement. This statement is very important because it's the only statement that you're going to make on the FBAR so that the IRS knows that you're non-willful. And unfortunately, for the FBAR, it's electronic now, and there's only a very limited space for character limit, and so you can't write a book, which is good because some people overwrite and then write themselves into willfulness, right? But for this type of situation, you're very limited in what you could write, so the words you choose should be careful. Another thing to keep in mind is for some taxpayers, streamlined foreign offshore procedures may be the better deal. Now, if you only have to do the FBAR, typically delinquent FBAR is the way to go. But as I explained with delinquency procedures, the IRS can just change the rules. With streamlined foreign, it's a certification form. Yeah, there's more you have to do, but there's also no penalty. And it's a certification form, so it goes through the proper channels at the IRS, and for some people, that'll give them peace of mind. We got a ton of free information available on our main website and our sub-websites. You can always reach out and schedule a reduced fee initial consultation if it's appropriate to your matter, and it's something that we handle here. Again, my name is Sean Golding with Golding & Golding. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.